Hi, I'm Heather Clay, and I'm here with Maria Bertrand, and we are a part of the Growing Naturals team. We're here to talk to you all about going vegan. So we hope that we can share some stories and some inspiration to help you on your journey too. So tell me, where are you from?
Montreal, Canada.
Montreal?
Yes.
Oh wow, how long have you been in the States?
I've been here for 12 years. 12
Wow.
years, yeah.
And what inspired your move to Los Angeles?
I was working as an actress and a model, and I was offered a visa to come here, and I thought, it's Los Angeles, California, why not? Yeah. And Montreal gets really cold.
Yeah.
Really
very
cold.
So growing up in Montreal, you had mom, dad, and meals at the table every night, or?
My parents didn't really, it's not that they didn't think about nutrition, they thought about nutrition in the way like the classic American diet kind of thing. Not necessarily fried food. My mom cooked a lot at home. She's South American, so she cooked. There's more of a meat protein-based diet with rice and things like that. But I'm the one that started. I got into bodybuilding when I started college, and so I'm the one that really started paying attention to how protein and carbohydrates really affect the body. And through that bodybuilding process, I had a lot of meat, very meat-based diet.
When you say a lot of meat, how many meals would be meat-based?
Oh my gosh.
And how many meals a day did you eat?
Every meal was meat-based for me, pretty much, because that was where I knew how to get my protein.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I just ate a lot of meat when I was doing that because I was lifting
chicken,
heavy.
Steak.
Lots of, not so much steak, but lots of chicken, lots of turkey.
Like 10 egg whites.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Just a ton of protein, and I'm built very long and lean, so for me to put on muscle, it takes a lot of protein.
Yeah.
So, and that was the way I knew how to do it. That's how I was showed. That's how I was taught. It's just that was what I knew. So
you got into bodybuilding in college, and you really supplemented with a lot of protein.
Yeah, and I was an athlete, so I just ate a lot.
Did you ever have any health problems with eating that much protein? Or?
Not necessarily. I digested it well. I was fine with that on a surface level.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what's going on on the inside, but I was fine with it. I was so active, and I think my system was working pretty efficiently.
Right.
So as it still is, I've never had any problems with.
That's great.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. So
That's great.
yeah.
So you grew up in more of kind of an American style.
Yeah, not necessarily like the fried food or anything, but the whole, the pyramid, the food pyramid.
Like a
pretty much
portion of broccoli, rice, and a sirloin steak or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're used to. Did you like eating like that, or did you know any different? Or?
It was fine. I just started eating cleaner. So my mom, I stopped like potato and all that stuff when I started the bodybuilding. I was much more conscious about what I was putting in my body.
Right.
From an efficiency level and from just what would build muscle from that standpoint. I wasn't thinking of anything ethical or anything. There was nothing.
With your body
no, it was just more muscle.
On some meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Literally.
Pack on some meat. Exactly.
So now, once you started the bodybuilding, how many years did you compete in?
I was bodybuilding back home. I wasn't competing at all. My boyfriend at the time was. He was competing. And then I stopped the bodybuilding, the really heavy lifting for a while in LA. It didn't really go well with modeling and acting, so I stopped for a while. And I just really enjoyed it. I enjoy being in shape. I enjoy feeling strong. So I got back into it. When did I get back into it? Gosh, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. Still on a meat-based diet. And when when did I switch? I really started paying attention, about a year ago was when I started paying attention to other aspects of what I'm eating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What inspired, this new view on it?
I went to a farm sanctuary, and I started educating myself on where my food comes from. So I had always been particular about where my vegetables came from, and what pesticides were used. Always been very conscious about that. And all of a sudden, I said to myself, well, why would I be conscious of where that comes from and not the animal products that I'm eating? Why don't I take a look at that? And I've always loved animals, and it seemed like it just seemed out of balance for me, and it started feeling off. I started walking through the meat section and going, oh, that was a living thing, and it just started bothering me on a conscious level. I don't know exactly where that came from, and then I started looking outward for information, and I started attending these events with a group called Couple of Guys and Gals who I now work with, and they're amazing. And so I went to a farm sanctuary and learned exactly where my meat was coming from and what was being done to the animals, and I ethically and from a compassion standpoint, I decided I could no longer do that. I mean, be a part of it.
So what is a farm sanctuary?
So a farm sanctuary is where they rescue animals from slaughterhouses, and actually the one I went to is actually called Farm Sanctuary.
Yeah.
They're an amazing organization, and they not only rescue the animals, but they educate as well. They educate people as far as what goes on in the meat and dairy industries. So we got to meet a steer. I can't remember the steer's name. Actually, I have a picture of him on my phone. He's my screensaver.
Oh.
But they grow, they're huge, they're massive, but we never see them because they're not allowed to live out their full lives most often. And I get asked if I went vegetarian first and then vegan. And I just went vegan because the dairy industry to me was even worse than, oh my God, it killed me. So I couldn't.
I recently saw, and I maybe shouldn't say this, but I recently saw Food Inc. And I was really shocked by how much I don't know. You know, have you seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts?
It's more, there's so much information out there that's available, and that's a really great piece to watch. And it breaks your heart in a lot of levels that people just don't know. People don't know. And all I would ask people is to go and educate yourself and then make your decisions accordingly. Like if it sits right with you, I'm not going to tell you what to do. We can all do whatever we want. If it sits right with you, great. If it doesn't, then maybe look into it a little more and figure out small changes that you can make. You know, it's.
Can you recommend any documentaries or books or like website resources that could help people educate themselves more?
There's a lot on Google. There is a lot, like just if you go and Google stuff, but...
what do you Google? What are your go-to search
Well,
words?
and here's the thing. So when you go vegan and you're already conscious of what nutrients you need to basically work efficiently, so your body's working efficiently, and the things that a vegan could lack, for instance, are B12, your omegas, protein is a big one that people want to know where to get their protein. Those are all things that, it's pretty simple where you can get them. B12 is the one that's a little tricky. You kind of have to supplement B12. So that's one that you want to look into, a good supplement. Protein, I mean, you get them from legumes, you get them from beans. And that's that's an interesting one that we can talk about something there. So I don't digest beans very well.
Okay.
As a lot of people have that problem. And it's a thing because people are like, well, what am I going to eat for protein?
Right.
If you take probiotics, it helps adjust your system and it helps you digest. So people are like, oh, I'll take something to counter the effects, but you actually want to start from what's going on to help you digest.
What kind of probiotics do you take?
There's acidophilus and there's the usual probiotics. People eat yogurt, but when you're off dairy, you can't, eat yogurt. But there's some really good probiotics. If you just go to the store, it's actually quite simple. It's just flipping your mentality.
Yeah.
So when you realize what you need, then you can go out and get it. So if you're like, oh, I need probiotics, and there are different ones, you can go and see all the bottles. Will be like, this one's for brain health, this one's for stomach, this one's for, they have them
for everything.
Right.
So if you just get one for digestion.
Yeah, they're pretty simple. Then it helps you digest. It helps your body digest the food.
Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had a hard time with it, not gonna lie. It's hard. It's hard to go vegan for numerous reasons. I mean, in LA, we're really lucky.
Yeah.
There's a lot available to us, but it's hard. Like, I want a snack. What am I gonna have? There are things that, it is difficult.
Do you think it helped to be somebody living in LA to be exposed to that? I do feel like it's a heavier like a more, not heavier, but a more widespread topic in this city of Los Angeles. But it is expanding. I feel like vegan is the new black.
Yeah, right.
There's so many Hollywood celebrities and stuff.
True.
Like Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres has been a huge vegan advocate for a long time. Yeah. Pamela Anderson.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh
that.
gosh, you
Wow.
didn't know that? Yeah, Pamela Anderson has been an animal advocate for a very long time.
I hear Bill Clinton and
Bill Clinton, Ozzy
Yeah.
Osbourne.
Really?
The Venus and Serena Williams.
Really?
Yeah, and those
they're
girls are jacked, like jacked. No, they're like jacked, and I believe they're mostly raw vegan as well,
Wow.
which is a whole other.
whole other
Raw vegan is tough for a lot of people because it's hard to digest. A lot of like like kale and the leafy greens, they have an enzyme in them, and seeds, they have enzymes in them that prevent us from digesting them properly. So a lot of people have trouble with that. If you steam them or just like kind of pat them, it breaks down the enzymes and it helps you digest them. There's a lot of fiber in kale, which is good for you, but can also be hard to digest. So
Make a first date uncomfortable.
could make a first date uncomfortable. Yeah. So take your probiotics and eat your leafy greens and your beans, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Totally.
So you made this choice.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the process of, like, what was your first step? Like, who do you go to begin this journey? How do you start creating recipes or cooking or?
There's some great cookbooks out there. There's a cookbook called V is for Vegan.
Okay.
I don't know if the men would feel quite as comfortable buying it. It's this big pink book with a giant V on it, and I'm like, wow, that's clearly marketed for women. It has some great recipes in it, and there are a lot of options. You can find a lot of vegan recipes online. You can research. Oh gosh, there's so much out there. When you start looking, there is so much out there. I'm really lucky to have a lot of friends who were already vegan.
Right.
When I went vegan, I had 4 friends do it with me. I did it, here's what I did too. I didn't want to tell everyone, I'm going vegan. I was like, I'm gonna try a vegan diet for 90 days.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so, I think not only did it make me feel more comfortable and say, okay, I can do what I want after that, but it made my friends feel more comfortable, and it made them feel comfortable. They're like, I want to do that challenge too.
Wow.
So I had 4 friends do it with me I had friends who would only eat vegan around me even though they weren't. It was amazing, the support I had. You'd be surprised. And if you don't have the support, you can find it.
We do a GN Summer Fit Challenge, like a 90-day fit challenge. So, I mean, you're kind of speaking to that.
Yeah, exactly. 90-day challenges are really fun. And when you do something for 90 days, so my whole thing was I'm going to go vegan for 90 days, and I'm going to see how my body reacts, and I'm going to see if I can put on muscle. I'm going to see what happens. And
what happened?
I was able to put muscle on.
Wow.
I was lifting heavy.
You would think the opposite, right?
You would think, but I did my research beforehand. That's the thing. If you're going to do anything, do your research beforehand. And you don't want to just go vegan and eat all these soy-based products and think you're doing something good for your body. You're not. So that's the problem that people have, I think. They go vegan and they do it from an unhealthy platform.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, this is terrible. It's like, no, you just didn't do your research. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like do your research, like read a bit. It's true, the information is there, right?
Yeah.
And so
you actually gained muscle.
I gained muscle. I lost fat. So I lost fat in between the muscles. Like it was a whole different, because I'm so in tune with my body, because I've done the bodybuilding. Yeah. I literally was cut, like just cut up. Yeah, like right away. Within a month, it was a big difference. Yeah.
So you did the 90-day challenge, and then what?
And then, so now I eat mostly a plant-based diet. Every now and then, my friend Ari has chickens, and they lay too many eggs. So for me, that's a comfortable way for me to eat eggs. When his chickens lay too many eggs and he's throwing them in the garbage, I'm like, don't throw those away. I'll eat those. You know, so
you know where they're from.
I know where they're from.
Is
I know how the chickens are.
Is that the only animal product that you incorporate in your diet?
For the most part. Sometimes I'll do small, like anchovies or fish if I decide I want like a bump in omegas or whatnot.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
omegas are the thing that your body
and that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just feel like I need a little something, and so I'll do that. I have no problem with doing that. I do have an issue with the fishing in our oceans and all that fun stuff. It's like,
tell me about it.
I mean, we're just destroying our oceans at a rate that's beyond. Between animal agriculture and the fishing industry, our oceans are being depleted. There's more plastic than plankton in the ocean. It's really sad. When you go and look at the statistics, and people are unaware of the fact that we basically drag our oceans with these giant nets, and we just take everything we can with the nets. So
that destroys the whole ecosystem.
We pull
life
in
cycle.
dolphins, we pull in sharks, we pull in everything. It destroys everything, and then what we don't want to sell, we throw back. Just throw it back, and it's just destroying our ocean life. And when I say throw them back, I mean you throw them back dead. You're not throwing them back to live in the ocean and live out their lives. It's really sad. And so if you picture it, it's like someone throwing a huge net over the safari in Africa and just dragging in elephants, giraffes, and then just taking a few of them and then just discarding the rest of the carcass. It's really sad. But because it's in the ocean, we don't see it, and we don't. People have a harder time, I think, connecting with ocean life, like fish, than they do with like an elephant.
Yeah.
But life is life, right?
Right.
Life is life, and we're destroying our planet. And this planet will survive without us. It will kill us off if we are not careful. So we need to do this for us. We need to start paying attention and make just changes that can help.
Yeah.
I think because, that's my
That's
whole.
a big reason.
Yeah, that's my whole reason for doing this. It's I don't know. I can't see the videos that I've seen and just feel right about
Yeah.
being a part of that.
It changes. I mean, I told you I saw that one documentary, and I mean, there's things that stick.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. There's Cowspiracy is a good documentary.
Wow. Conspiracy.
Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives is a good documentary.
Forks Over Knives. Okay.
Yeah, that's another really good one. Unity, which one did you see? You saw
Food Inc.
Food Inc. Unity. Tom Shadyac does a great one.
I love Tom Shady.
Yes.
I love Tom Shadyac.
He's my writing mentor.
He's great.
I love Tom.
Yeah.
Love Tom. He's the first person I really had talks about veganism with.
Wow.
The first person. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and he's the reason why I actually have confidence in my writing and why I do that now. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and his documentary I Am is amazing. It's all about how we're all connected.
The interconnectedness, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're losing. So the meat and dairy industries have done a really incredible job at taking compassion off the menu.
Yeah.
They've completely wiped it off the menu so that we don't connect with what we're eating. And that's a problem. I mean, they've done a brilliant job. Talk about marketing, man.
Right.
Like, that's some good marketing, and it's really unfortunate. It's really sad. So if we can just sort of put compassion back on the menu, and maybe we'll all be better off.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, these are really big reasons, and I think that's, inspiring to hear, your research that you've done and what you've learned about, what's really going on, and kind of pull the blanket back and see what's underneath. What's your favorite go-to dish, or do you have a few favorites?
I do. I have a favorite salad that I make for people who aren't vegan, and they're like, this is so, and people who say they don't like kale, and I'm like, I'll make you a salad.
I'm
And
gonna
it's so
turn you
simple.
out.
Yeah. So if you take kale, the lacinato kale,
Uh-huh.
and you can take any kale, and you chop it up. I steam it a little bit.
Okay.
So when you steam kale,
So it softens a little bit?
yeah, it softens
Okay.
and it's easier to digest. So when you
Yeah.
steam kale a little bit, it's much easier to digest. I don't digest raw kale well, but as soon as it's steamed a little bit, and so when you steam it, I just take what's it called? Where you drain spaghetti in a strainer, yeah. And I just put the kale in there, and when it turns a bright green, you just take it out. It takes no time at all.
Oh, nice.
Like 2 minutes, not even. And it's really
Yeah.
fast, and you don't want it too wilty. And then you put olive oil, lime juice, and sea salt, and then you can take shaved almonds and saute them in a pan and put that over it, and then cherry tomatoes, just chop them in half.
Yeah.
And you can add avocado if you want, and it's a really, really good meal.
So sea salt, olive oil,
And lime juice, not
juice.
lemon, lime.
Lime juice.
Yeah, it's just softer than lemon. The lemon with the kale is too acidic.
That sounds great.
It's so good. I will make it for you one day, and
Okay.
you will be like, this is so
coming
good.
over.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good, it's such a good salad. And the thing is, you can take it with you, because kale's a hardy, leafy green, so you can actually like take that to work with you for lunch, and you can, absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What about like a warm, hot, like comfort food?
Something I made the other night. So I took zucchini,
Uh-huh.
you grate it with a grater. You can take a flour, like a almond flour with Italian seasoning, and you mix it together in that you can make little zucchini like patties.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. And then serve that with, it's good if you do I don't know what it would be called, but I take tomatoes, I chop tomatoes, shallots, I put them in a pan with pine nuts. Yeah, pine nuts, a little bit of basil, and so you serve that on top of the zucchini fritters, and they're really good. And you can serve that with either millet or quinoa.
Yum.
And if you cook millet, all you do is like put sea salt and lemon in there, and it's really tasty.
Yum.
I know, right? There's like a lot of things you can do. Yeah, so that's one.
Do you like tofu or tempeh?
I actually don't.
No.
I don't like the soy-based products. I
No.
prefer, when I was eating meat, I ate food. Like I ate food, and then I would supplement with protein powders. That's what I did. That's how I
Do you
eat.
ever cook recipes with protein powder, like pasta dishes and stuff like that?
Pasta dishes, not
Like
so
in the
much.
sauces, or
Not so much in the sauces because I like my shakes.
Yeah.
But you totally can. But I'll just drink a whole shake after
what's
I eat
your
a meal.
favorite shake?
Oh, I like oh gosh, the Growing Natural strawberry. I've never liked strawberry shakes before, and I do that with almond milk, and it's so good. And I put like vanilla essence in it. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. I'll throw a little bit of spirulina just for iron and different things. It's kind of fun. Yeah. There are a few little supplements that I like to take, like chlorella, blue-green algae. There are a few things. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the world about eating vegan?
About eating vegan. I really, honestly, I think the main thing is, like, I was lucky to have friends around me who are vegan, so I really went to them for a lot of information, and I did have a lot of support, so I know how hard it could be if you don't have the support, if your family doesn't support you in it, or if your friends don't. That's not easy.
There are a lot of like online groups
Yes.
on Facebook and stuff like that.
I highly recommend. I think that's the number one thing, honestly, because the information's out there to do things. The recipes are out there to but it's the support.
Yeah.
That was the thing that really helped me. I had friends who were vegan, so I went to them and they gave me support. And then I had 4 friends who were not vegan go vegan with me. I had other friends who would only eat vegan around me. Even though I was like, order what you want, they were like, nope. It was
like
amazing.
You decide to stop drinking and they don't want to drink.
I know, right? I was like, it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna like dive over the table and eat your steak. Like, it's fine. I'm good. But like, it was really interesting and really fun. So, if you don't have that support at home, I was really lucky. Like, I'm really lucky with that. If you don't have that support at home, there are online places you can go. There are people you can reach out to. I wanted to start a blog about it and sort of a platform for it because I think it's really important because that really is a big thing that helped get me through it on the days where I was like, I don't know what to eat. Oh my gosh. And you figure it out. You know, somebody's like, it's okay. I know it kind of sucks, right? And I'm like, it does. And I'm like, okay, I feel better. Commiserate. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But it's a big thing. We're people. We're human. And when we're used to certain things, it's hard to make a switch. And eating habits are hard to change. It takes time. So support for me was the biggest thing. And reach out and find it because it's there. There are a lot of people who want to support a vegan journey.
Right.
A lot.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you.
journey with us today.
Thank you.